Welcome to another episode of the Caribbean Edge. Thanks for tuning in. Just getting set up, and just wanted to sign in a little early. Okay, so thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Caribbean Edge. My name is Dawn Wilson, and I'm honored to join you tonight as you welcome into your homes. Remember, you can share this live episode so that your friends can chime in and have a laugh as well. So tonight I want to start out with just a little personal story here about diagnosing yourself and the importance of not doing that. So I think I mentioned on the show a couple weeks back that I was feeling this little pain. And so, I noticed, from way back when, like something like unevenness. So with the shoulder pain and everything, I said, let me start using Google University to see what's wrong. Of course, by the time I finished doing all that, I had cancer. My heart, I was going to have a heart attack. And I was feeling some knee pain as well. Probably due to inactivity of sports, and I came up with arthritis. So I just diagnosed myself. So the worst thing to do, and me and my friends talk about this, especially me and Paula, the worst thing you can do is go in and diagnose yourself. Needless to say, nothing's wrong with me. As far as that, I did, during COVID-19, I also mentioned how scary it is for us to, go to a doctor right now. So I ventured out to my doctor's office this morning, all wrapped up, I had on, 2 different layers of clothes, gloves, mask, the works. Went in, and come to find out, I just need an alignment. My body's off, and I probably would have noticed before, but because I play volleyball, I'm always throwing myself. I'm usually sore anyway, so now that I'm not as active, then it goes to say why I'm feeling it, every little thing you find going wrong with you right now. So I need to be more active, just stretch more, and go see a chiropractor. So if you know a really, really good one, I definitely need that. So health is important. Go to the doctor. Don't diagnose yourself. I know it's scary because I was really, really scared. I didn't even tell my children or anyone I was going. I just scheduled the appointment because I wanted that private space to know by myself. But worst thing to do, don't do like me and self-diagnose. So welcome to another episode of the Caribbean Edge. We want to thank all our new viewers and members for joining the Caribbean Edge page. Wow, what an amazing week. We've seen a lot of growth for the Caribbean Edge, and we're so thankful for that. I truly appreciate it. A lot of you have been inviting your friends as well to join the page, and so it's just grown significantly. So thank you, and welcome. We have fun on the show. We laugh, we talk, and I want to mention I have 2 amazing guests that will be joining me next week, and I'm absolutely blown away by their project. And I'm excited about it because it's Caribbean based, and it just brings more of the Caribbean to the world, which is what we do to showcase our rich culture, our rich people. So make sure you join next week for that one. All right, so tonight's episode is red flags and relationships, whether they're professional or personal. So most of you that tuned in before know I'm single. I am not a relationship expert in any way, shape, or form. So the things that I'm not too familiar with, I use common sense, I do a lot of research, I talk to people as well. So I found out some really good things from researching red flags, which I need to apply to my personal life as well. So what caused me to do this show tonight is I saw this video before, and a lot of you have probably seen it, but it's a Jamaican lady, and she talks about red flag and all the danger signs, and we still ignore them. when it comes to relationships. So one of them she said was, if him live at home with him mother, red flag. She said you have to thoroughly investigate the man them, which we don't do at first. And we dive in some way like it's Olympics and take up crosses power head. So it means that we're just jumping in and we see these red signs and we still go ahead and do it. Whether it's our heart, our attraction, we're human, we're hoping we can change the person, whatever it is, we still do it. So some of the questions, she said, how much picnic you have? If him say him have 6 picnic, red flag. If she asks where him do for live and him say hustle, red flag. If him have car and him say him sister carry him a drive, then obviously that's another red flag for her. And because he obviously, depending where you are in your life, he has not progressed to a point to have at least his own vehicle. And she actually called him prepaid man problem. So if you haven't seen this video, you have to check it out because it's going to make you laugh. And a lot of times we absolutely really need to laugh during these times. Some other pointers is if you can't get him on the phone, that means he's occupied elsewhere, possibly depending what time. And if him can't take you out certain places, then obviously he can't take you out because he may have someone else. So all these red flags that we go to. If you can't go to the event with him on his arm, then that's a red flag as well. So let's see. And I want you to put some of the red flags that you're aware of in case I don't mention these red flags. And for the gentlemen as well, a lot of the red flags that I saw apply to us women as well. So for especially men, you have drama queens. So if you see early signs where this woman is dramatic, or it could be the man that's dramatic, because we have men that are dramatic as well, that could be a significant red flag. That person's not going to change because you saw it up front. Another red flag is jealousy. So friendships, whether it's male or female, and your partner or your date gets jealous of these friendships. And it could be someone you're dating for years. I think with us being quarantined, we may either make or break a lot of our relationships. So your friendships, especially for someone like me, are very, very, very important. And it should be to all of us, because your friends are a separate entity to what you may have with a partner. When I go out and I play sports or I hang out with my friends, hopefully that partner can be there as well. But if not, I should be able to go movie nights with my girlfriends without it being a problem. And you'll find early in the relationship, they may say it's not a problem, but later on down the line, they want to change these things that were there at the beginning. So be careful on that. Thank you, Paula, Simone, and Rosie for tuning in. I see you there. Thanks for your comments. Some other issues are trust issues. So if this person shows up at your doorstep, it may seem romantic at first. For me, it's a red flag, definitely, because they may be checking you out, especially what time of night they show up or what time they call. So be careful with that. Is it a red flag, or is he really being romantic? Another one that I saw was mistreatment of others. And this you can see in a restaurant setting, because I've had this happen. I was at a restaurant and the gentleman, he just didn't treat the waiter very nicely. And so if you're trying to impress me on a first date, there was no second date, by the way you're treating that person makes a huge difference. And so be mindful of those. Sometimes we ignore those red flags, but it is really significant. Family interactions was another one. So depending how you treat your family. So if you brush off mom when mom is calling you and the gentleman is sitting there watching you, what exactly does that mean? You know, if you're treating your mom, if you're treating your dad, if you're treating your sister or your brother poorly, those are signs that should be the people that you love. So is it a pattern, and is this person going to change? Usually that's a red flag. So be mindful of those things as you go on in your relationship, because sometimes when you look back is when you realize, wow, that's how she treated her mom the first day I met her. Why did I expect anything different? So as we get older and mature in life, these are the things that we should be learning along the way. Rosie, I see some comments here. Jealousy, controlling, argumentative, combative, confrontational, inconsiderate, and disrespectful. Yes, Rosie, absolutely. And Judy, thanks for tuning in, treating the family well. It speaks volumes. Even how you speak about your exes speaks volumes, because if you were never the issue but you have 10 exes, then something might be wrong. Red flag. Is this person taking ownership, at least some ownership for what went wrong? Then that's a person that may be a little bit easier to work with. They at least show some signs of maturity, but everything about the other person was horrible. Red flag. There's also one that I found, princess or king mentality. So it's that person that just thinks everything is about them. That's a red flag. And men do it too. You know, there are men out there that shop more than women and, you know, drive a better car than the woman that they're with because they're the king. And then there are men that do the opposite. They want to make sure that their wife has a better car, or they have equal cars, whatever it is. Everyone's situation is probably different, what you're putting as far as what you expect in your relationship. Flexibility. Is that person flexible? You go to a movie theater, for example, and you want to see a movie and it was canceled, and you say to that person, well, let's watch this movie, and they're like, no, I just want to go home now. So that person wasn't willing to go to a different movie that you wanted to see. So how flexible is that person? Do you have the same interest? Red flag. If you're arguing all the time with someone, especially if it's a new relationship, red flag. It's not going to get any better, especially if you're arguing up front. Red flag. Gina Spice, Miss Workout Queen, thank you for joining. David Muir, thanks for joining. David says, but it isn't all about communication. Talk all these things out. We can teach the other and grow when we dialogue. Absolutely. But David, let me ask you this one. Are we going to grow if these conversations are not, if we can't compromise, if we're not on the same page? So it has to be somewhat of a balance. There could be some red flags in that conversation. Agree or disagree? Judy says, if he gives the late price of meat or plantain. If he gets the late price, don't understand that one at all. So Paula says she agreed with David to work it out through conversation. Welcome, Jeannie. And Joan says never compromise. Yes, that's a red flag if they're absolutely not compromising. You have to be able to compromise. And all of these things take time, guys. Your maturity level is changing. So are you dating someone that is mentally older, mentally younger than you? Are you meeting each other at a level playing ground, so to speak? If not, then these red flags are going to probably be even more. But I do agree, communication is absolutely a must, but you also have to establish if this is someone you can communicate with, because we all communicate differently. So that would be my point to communication. Violence. If someone is violent, especially if you dictate it early in a relationship, absolutely not. That's a red flag that says run for the hills. Jones agree? She hasn't signed in yet, but absolutely run for the hills. No excuses for violence when angry, because you're going to need to seek help there. And it doesn't get any better with violence unless you're going through therapy, you're getting help, and you're showing where you can change that behavior. And obviously we want to definitely have some conversations about mental health as well. We've had a couple episodes about domestic violence. I've spoken out about it myself, growing up in that environment. So I absolutely would run any signs of violence, but that's definitely a huge, huge, huge red flag. Values, do you have similar values? Very key. And that goes to what David and Paula were saying, the conversations, the communications, your values. Do you respect each other? Those are all things, and if they're not in sync, those could be red flag as well. Are you dealing with someone that never apologizes? I found that one. And I am very... I don't apologize easily. So that one kind of made me think. I will apologize, though, if I think I'm wrong. And I don't mind communicating as well. However, I'm not apologizing if I don't think I was wrong. And we can agree to disagree. So it just depends. But some people just don't apologize even when they're wrong. And I know a couple people like that. So I totally get it. So it depends to what extent we're talking about. But it's a red flag if you can't see what's wrong. And a lot of what we're going through is in your personal life as well as your professional life. It's with your friends as well. So I thought about this topic, and I thought back to when I had a job that I really, really thought I would love. And I did, in fact, love the job. It was in healthcare. It was close to home, and I enjoyed the people I work with. But after I left the job, there were a lot of red flags. The job was a disaster because the person was an alcoholic, and she was a substance abuser. But when I went back to my professional life to think of this topic, I remember in the interview where she was so focused on me as an individual. Yes, she liked my professional background, but she brought another lady into the interview, and the lady was heavyset. She wasn't a healthy person. I don't know for what reasons. But she was complimenting me. She was complimenting the color of my skin because I'm in the sun a lot from volleyball, so I had a nice brown tan going on. And then I'm obviously healthy, fit, and I work out. So the conversation went, how my appearance as far as well put together, my skin, my whatever. But in her complimenting me, and she did it so excessively, she was belittling the other lady because she was comparing the two of us. And this woman, come to find out, had worked with her for years. So I got the job and I loved it. But when I went through working with both of them and I realized that it was to hurt the other person, now reflecting back, it's a red flag. It's a red flag that she paid so much attention to my personal appearance while dissing someone else. So we get those in our career paths, and I'm sure a lot of you probably have examples of that. So a lot of these personal red flags apply to your professional life as well. Some of the things that other things that I found out it's always easy to overlook things initially, but there's always signs that go down the way, along along the path, so to speak. And it's whether you detect them early enough and whether you choose to do anything about it. And a lot of times we get to the end first. We've broken up with the person. We're no longer at that job. And then we reflect back and say, you know what, I should have left you a long time ago. Or I should have left that job a long time ago. So the key to everything is learn from your mistakes and try to make the best decisions as we mature and gain experience in life. So a lot of truths, and hi everyone. Hi Andy Fandangles. Rosie says insecurities, absolutely. I dated someone and I shouldn't have dated him for so long. Sorry to say that. But the insecurities killed it. It just killed it. And so when you go out and you're confident and you feel like, you just want to have fun, you're clean, nice, fun, and you meet someone and they try to change that because they themselves are not confident, then it becomes an issue. So that's, finding that person that can meet you and trust you and know that even if you're out hanging out with the girls, even if you get up and you want to go play basketball, volleyball, run, that's your personal time for yourself. So the insecurities, and thanks, Michelle's agreeing with that, really can kill a relationship. You have to stand firm. The questions, the probably going in someone's phone, red flag. That one just came to mind because I don't think I saw that one when I was looking at it. So Stacy says, hello darling, hindsight is easier than facing the problem head on. Absolutely. Gina, jealousy is a huge one. You will constantly have arguments, and all these things lead to constant arguments if you're jealous and you're insecure. And I think I'm a little jealous. We probably all are a little jealous. But it comes with being confident in yourself. I can't see where I'd get to a point where I'd be jealous of someone hanging out with their friends. I can't be jealous of, what goes on in my mind, because I could really make some stuff up in my mind, right, as we all do. And I think going back to what David and Paula agreed to is, how do we have those conversations rather than have these insecurities, rather than not converse about them, ask questions? Why not do that? Because at the end of the day, you've made all these assumptions, and with these assumptions, you've created this story that is not necessarily true. And if you had asked in the first place, you could have spared everyone in that relationship some agony. Controlling, red flag, huge red flag. Why do you want to control someone? I don't even agree you should control your kids, but as two adults in a relationship, the last thing you want to do is control the person. Let them be themselves. Let them grow. You should be growing together. So that's a huge red flag. And like I said before, sometimes this creeps up on you because you're not seeing it at the beginning of the relationship. But as you both settle into that comfort zone, that's when the truth comes out. Some people will say you meet someone's representative when you first meet them. Is that true? Or are you just the person that you always will be? And I think very few people are that way. We put on our clothes, we put on our makeup for those that wear makeup, and we're stepping out. When you get home and you take off all that stuff, if you're someone that wears all that stuff, that person didn't really meet you. And I see a lot of posts about this, and I'm hoping a lot of people realize how beautiful you are without makeup, and let someone meet the real you. even if you don't do that because you want that makeup and you want all that extra stuff you do, at least let them see you naturally at some point. So lots of red flags can come from that as well. Some of us are like, what you see is what you get. Okay, I like going out. I'm not going to pretend I don't like going out and cuddle with you all the time. And 6 months or 3 months, I'm itching to go out there. No, you're going to know up front that despite COVID-19, we like to hang out and have fun. And hopefully you can come along and have fun too, because we have one life to live. So lots of red flag. So let's see. A lot of people posted red flags. Michelle, all the way from Atlanta. Hi, Cheryl Ann. So Michelle says, when individuals try to change who you are, both professionally and personally, to cater to their own hidden agenda, red flag, run. So I absolutely agree with that. I think, when you meet people, you take them for what they are. I don't think you should be fake in any way, shape, or form. And just hope that the connection is there, the maturity is there, the conversation is there, and the person appreciates you for who you are. So someone that calls the shots all the time, you go to a restaurant and they want to tell you what you're going to eat for the night, red flag. How do you know what I'm going to eat? So make sure you decide if that's for you or if that's considered controlling. So Joan Virtue Taylor says, I dated a guy who would always go out in sneakers and a shirt outside his pants and hair not always combed, while I was dressed in a little black dress and high heels, would always go to the hairdresser prior to date. Always questioning the check at the restaurant. I looked at him closely one day and said, what is red flag? No place in my future. Run, girl, run. Oh my gosh, that's so true. I can't go out with you if you're not dressed, and I'm dressed. So unless I'm going to go change and we're going somewhere casual. But such a great point. Red flag. If he's not willing or she's not willing to dress up, especially when you're dating each other in the first couple months, years, or even way after that, because it's nice to dress up, nice to go out. Why do you want your man to look like crap and you look all dolled up? No sense at all. And I get the thing with the check, Joan. Oh my gosh. I went to dinner once with a guy and it was horrific, just because he questioned everything and wanted a discount. And yes, didn't happen. So, and it was all that one day that I told you, that was just one date and it never happened again. So Michelle says, to say to who you meet, first impressions, last impressions. So agree. Thank you. And thanks, Jeannie's agreeing to something. So what we're saying is, depending where you are in your relationship or you're dating, because a lot of you will be dating again after COVID-19. I'm not sure if online dating has picked up. People are probably connected. And some of the pictures are fake, so be careful. But when you start dating again, safely dating, we're going to have to be careful. Look for those red flags. It's very important that you do your research, ask questions. We're very shy about these things. We don't want to ask questions. You don't want to ask questions about someone's credit, right? But you should, depending where you are in that relationship. If you're going to live together, you're building yourselves together, what does that person's finances look like? What do your finances look like? And they don't all have to be great, but having that open, honest communication up front is important. And if one person's finance is good and the other one not so good, is that a red flag for you? It is a red flag for a lot of people, but being honest up front makes a difference as well. So if the person knows more than you have shared, red flag. So this one means that this person has been checking you out. As they say in Trinidad, they've been macoing you. So they could be macoing your friends, stalking you. So, be careful. Is it a nice thing that they checked you out, or are they stalkerish? So before you can finish your sentence, they know all your friends' names. That might be a stalker. That could be a red flag. Another red flag is breaking confidence. So when someone's telling you a situation, and you know that conversation should not have been repeated, then that's a red flag. Because often enough, depending on your relationship with the person, because some of us, especially as women, we have confidential conversations with our friends, and you should know who you can trust with certain information. But if you have someone outside that circle that doesn't, and you still have to be careful no matter what, and they're telling you something, that's a red flag in any relationship, a girlfriend relationship, a guy-girl relationship, just something, even if it's an ex and you're telling that person about it, that means if I become an ex, you may also disclose that information. So that's another red flag as well. Emotional baggage, we mentioned this a little bit. What are you bringing to the relationship? If this person has nothing but a slew of issues, red flag. Life can't be that bad all the time. And do you want to be around negative Debbie? Or do you want someone that's positive, that can have positive, friendly, upbeat conversations with you? So be mindful of what that person is saying to you. Pay attention to conversations, because you learn a lot from these people as you go along. Does this person just go with the flow? That could be a red flag. Are you okay with someone that's just going along in life, doing nothing? Because they're not going to change. They're comfortable. So if you're a go-getter and you're moving and you're breaking all kind of records and you have a vision, a goal, then someone that's just going along in life, huge red flag for someone like you. But there's someone out there for everyone. So maybe someone that's comfortable just moving along in life, that works perfectly fine for them. So it's about being compatible with the people that you're choosing to have relationships with. Let's see what else. Joan, Virtue Taylor, cousin, thank you. Always borrowing money from you. So no one should be borrowing money from you. That's definitely a red flag. I think just the nerve of someone that would want to do that is definite red flag. So be careful. That's a good one, Joan. So your personal growth cannot be flourished with this person, then certainly a red flag. You want to be with someone that's supporting you, flourishing you, helping you grow. If you feel like the life is being sucked out of you in this relationship, total red flag. And I think a lot of people have been there. Like we say, you need to flourish, you need to grow, you need to be happy. When you walk through that door, you should be thrilled and happy to see your partner coming through the door. So definite red flag. The negatives just don't turn into positives. These are all red flags for us. You're not feeling better about yourself, but worse about yourself when you're with this person. Definitely red flag. You need someone that's uplifting you and building you. Someone that supports your ambitions and your growth. And we talked about this on the previous episode. It's not about being a gold digger, but it's about having someone there that supports you, respects you. If you succeed, they succeed mentality, and you're going to grow and become the king and queen of the world, so to speak. A lot of times, breaking up is a blessing. It is. Whether it's a business, whether it's a personal relationship, and we've seen that. You look back and you see all the red flags that you ignored. So focus yourself on healing, especially after that, before you jump into something else. Is a personal advice. Ask yourself all the time, where are you going with your relationship? Is it worth it? So lots of red flags for you. Let's see if I have any more comments on here or sharing on red flags. Okay, I will definitely, hi Emery, thanks for tuning in. I will definitely go back in here and see if there are any comments that I missed, and I do apologize if I do. But certainly we've learned a lot today about red flags, and all of us are at a different space or position in our lives where we want to go when we want to look at our personal relationships, our friendships, our professional relationships, and what is good for you. You know, we've been given this opportunity, I believe, to evaluate ourselves, evaluate your circle, evaluate your choices. So when I looked at this particular topic, it was really refreshing because it gave me time to pause to say, what are some of the mistakes or the red flags that I've ignored throughout my life. And so I hope that tonight's episode helps you in identifying some of those red flags. Hi Denise, welcome. Because it's so important. They will help us make better choices, better decisions, and so that we can live healthier, happier lives. So remember, some of the key ones are, you know, someone that's violent, definite red flag. You know, look for someone with similar values. If not, that's going to be a red flag. Some of you mentioned someone that can communicate well with you. You're at the same level. If not, that could be a red flag. Is this person flexible? If not, that's going to be a red flag. It's not going to change. If you meet someone and you want kids and they don't want kids, definite red flag, because it's not going to change your desire to have kids. So, you know, is it worth it? Because this person may be hot and sexy, and, you know, once you get through that, you know, that person's not going to change if they don't want kids. Now they may not want kids later on. But I could be wrong, because one or two people do end up changing their minds after and having kids. But for the most part, people don't change. They want to, we're programmed to be this way, and we change very little. And that's based on our personal experience as well. So I do absolutely thank you for tuning in and for your comments tonight about red flags. I wanted us to be able to laugh about it and talk about relationships, but there's a lot of seriousness to this as well. And remember, next week, the guests are going to blow you away, because I was absolutely blown away. I would have been blown away normally, because the person is really upbeat, friendly, and will interact very, very well with you. I know one of the guests. But the project that they're working on, phenomenal. And I'm absolutely excited to bring it to you on the Caribbean Edge. So join us next week. Remember to keep inviting your friends to the Caribbean Edge page. And if you have something that you want to share with the world, because the Caribbean Edge is about sharing the Caribbean, sharing its people and culture with the entire world, certainly share it on our page. Reach out to me if you have any questions. And I certainly appreciate each and every one of you for your comments as well. So thank you for tuning in to the Caribbean Edge, and have a beautiful night. Thank you. One love.